Warning. Although I usually review family-friendly movies and shows, the movie I'm about to review, Straight Outta Compton, has been rated R, and thus will contain some blood, swear words, sexual nudity, and probably other things that will offend kids and soccer moms. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey there everybody, this is Sakura Diesel, and it's time for another movie review. Today it's time we take a look at some sound films as we take a look at a recent popular movie 3 years ago, Straight Outta Compton. In the early to mid-80s, a new form of rap known as gangster rap was starting to make new grounds in the music industry, dealing with stuff happening among gang members and deals with controversial issues. And nor was that more exploited and popular than with one of the most popular rap groups of all time, NWA, which I'm not going to say what that stands for because I have some dignity. But anyway, the NWA songs also deal with stuff that was happening among gang members, like violence, drug use, racism, and police brutality. The group consists from Eazy-E, Arabian Prince, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, DJ Yellin, and MC Ren. Now, while the group was extremely popular at the time, they were also known as the most feared group to a lot of people, and received lots of critics from both common people to actual police and FBI authorities for fearing that their songs promoted violence against police and to the people. The group as a whole only made 3 albums during their life, and unfortunately the group was short-lived as Eazy-E had sadly passed away at a young age of 30 due to having AIDS. Jump a bit to a few years later in 2004, 2 writers named S. Lee Savage and Alan Wickson brought the idea on making an NWA movie to former New Line executive-turned-producer Bill Startich for permission to make the movie. At first, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube felt they weren't quite ready to make a movie about their early rapping career, but later Cube decided that now would be a good time to make an NWA movie, stating that if he didn't get involved with it, they could do it the wrong way. And when it was clear that the director for Friday was also going to direct Straight Outta Compton, Dr. Gray agreed to also help out with the movie and became the producer for the film. So now the team set out to make Straight Outta Compton on March 2009. The casting call started on March 9, 2014. The crew, and especially people like Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, wanted to make sure that the actors not only act the part, but also look the part. So much so that some people like Ice Cube's own son and rapper himself, O'Shea Jackson Jr., was accepted the part of playing his own father when he was a teenager and was with the NWA at the time. Eazy-E's son, Little Eazy-E, also tried for the role of a teenage version of his father, but he wasn't accepted in the role, and at first he was upset, but eventually he agreed to help the actual actor, Jason Mitchell, to coach him on how to portray his father. There was also a bit of a casting controversy when they were looking for extra casts for the party scenes. On July 16, 2014, Sadie Elise posted a casting call on Facebook and was looking for girls as extras, and she was using an A to D scale. And here's where the controversy comes in. For what I was able to find, the A rank was for models that have nice real hair, great bodies, and could be from any race, whether you're white, black, Asian, whatever. B girls are girls that have nice long hair and nice bodies. C girls are medium to light skinned African American girls with a weave. And the D girls, the rank that upset people the most, are girls that have to look poor, not in good shape, I guess that means they have to be fat or chubby, and they have to be medium to dark skin tone. Now, I don't think this woman was trying to say that certain women or certain races are better than others, but yeah, the way she handled this was pretty bad. I think what she should have done instead was to say, hey, I need some extra women in this movie who would like to join in. That way she would have avoided the controversy she received. The crew went to film in the actual place of Compton in Los Angeles, and boy, there were a couple of interesting things that happened during filming. Outside of the usual miscommunication from the crew, as well as numerous changes to the script went through because the movie was about to be a 3-hour and 30-minute movie, some of the scenes that were scrapped were scenes where Dr. Dre was beating a journalist by the name of D. Barnes, and a flashback of how Dr. Dre's brother was killed. Speaking of killing, there was also an incident in which during the scene they were filming in Compton, there was a drive-by shooting. While none of the crew or cast were shot or killed, the people that were flashing gang signs to a car, one of them did get hit by a bullet, but thankfully he survived the shot. But if that wasn't enough, former CEO and co-founder of Death Row Records, Serge Knight, was involved in a hit-and-run murder charge of 2 men. One was Terry Crater, co-founder of Heavyweight Records and a friend of Knight, and filmmaker Clee Solon. Terry was killed in the hit and run, while Solon suffered a mangled foot and head injuries. But like I said, none of the other cast and crew members got hurt, and after surviving Compton, the team premiered the movie on August 10th, 2015 at LA Live in Los Angeles. Then it was released on August 14th, 2015. Straight Outta Compton is, surprise surprise, another popular and cult movie. But is this movie so good that even someone who's not a big fan of rap or hip hop like me can enjoy? Well, to be honest, it's kind of hard to say. Now, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of rap or hip hop, especially gangster rap. I just get really uncomfortable with that kind of genre of music. But that's not to say I don't understand or see why it's popular to begin with, as I will give the movie credit that it does take the time to show everyone, especially those that are not fond of rap, to understand what these boys were doing and why they're rapping to begin with, and to show people what they were used to seeing in their normal lives. I got no problem with people voicing their opinions or feelings about the outside world they live in, but it's also not hard to see why these boys were considered dangerous by some of the critics they received. I mean, just looking at the lyrics to the original songs they're singing, I don't think they're saying kill all policemen. What they're really saying is that police can easily abuse their power and arrest someone just because they look suspicious to them without any hard evidence that they did it. And we should still discuss on when someone with power does go too far. But given the place the boys lived in and all the gangs and killings they're seeing, it's not a big stretch to understand why these police were on a super lookout to begin with. But sadly, while the movie does address the police brutality issues, they don't go too far into the issue that much, and sometimes when they do, it almost feels like a different movie. For example, later on in the movie, there's a scene on the Rodney King beating incident in 1991, which led to the Los Angeles riots in 1992, after 4 officers were first found not guilty. And I'm just thinking, what does this have to do with the NWA? At first I thought it was to show that after the people thought about the group's message about police brutality, that they wanted hard proof that that was actually going on. But this feels like it's just out of place, and it has little to do with the actual group. And that's another problem with the movie. It sometimes feels like this movie doesn't know what it wants to be. At first it's just a little biopic of the gang's life and their early rapping careers, but then sometimes it just goes into the police brutality issue, but again, they don't really do that much with the topic to begin with. I don't know, maybe I'm just not seeing something, but sometimes it does feel like there are some scenes in the movie that sometimes feels out of place. Also, I really wanted more scenes with DJ Yellen and MC Ren. I felt these two were just there. I didn't get any sort of character with them, it just felt like they were just along for the ride and nothing more. Anyway, for the positives I do have for the film, I do like the fact that the film does show you on how far and how mature these boys will become later on. It does show you how much the gang has been through, both the good and the bad, and how much they've changed in not only music, but how entertainment can be used to deliver a message. Not only that, but it does show you on how just starting something as simple can turn and make you into something big, and how fans and certain things going on in the world can inspire a person to do something about it. The directing was good for the most part, and the actors they got for the younger versions of the rap group are good actors as well, and they made the characters memorable too. So for final thoughts I have, I'm glad I saw this movie for what it is. I'm glad it wasn't just a movie that just had rap or hip hop music and nothing more. This movie does have a story, some characters, and these characters do go through some sort of arc. The directing is good, and the songs themselves, while I'm not a fan of some of them, they are pretty catchy, I will admit. If you're not that big of a fan of rap or even gangster rap, then this movie is probably not for you. But if you like rap and you are familiar with the group NWA, then check it out if you haven't seen this movie yet. As the film was first released on August 13th, the film made about $24.1 million on opening day at the box office, but that soon went up to $60.2 million on opening weekend, to now about $201.6 million worldwide, making it one of the highest grossing movies, especially the highest grossing music biopic movies, surpassing another famous music biopic movie, Walk the Line. The critics for the most part loved the movie, with critics like Richard Roeper calling it a thrilling and energized movie, while others have criticized the movie for being too long and it took on more storylines that they could handle. And some of the critics, including the actual people that the movie depicted, didn't like how they were portrayed in the movie, with people like MC Ren hating the fact that he had little role in the movie itself, but he later praised the filmmakers for making a great story. There were others that also complained that some of the real-life events that were cut out of the movie for running time, which include the Dean Barnes incident I mentioned earlier. Now, it should be noted that Dr. Dre later said that he regretted what he did to those women back then, and that he is truly sorry for what he had done to them, and he assured that he is not the same person that he was 25 years ago. Anyway, today the film has been put into one of the greatest films of all time, and is now on the list of 1001 movies you must see before you die. And believe me, you might just want to see this film before the cops show up. Well, that'll about do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching me review straight out of Compton, and let me know what you guys thought about the movie as well down in the comments. If you guys liked the review, don't forget to hit that like button. If you guys want to see more movies or TV show reviews, hit that subscribe button as well. And speaking of reviews, if you guys got any movies or TV shows you want me to review, list them in the comments on either YouTube or on my Facebook page. And if you guys like Let's Plays, don't forget to check out my gaming channel, which the link will be down in the description below. So, until then, this is Sakura the Diesel saying thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next review. Take care, everybody.